Hello, Bashar from Switzerland. I had a question regarding the hybridization agenda that you mentioned, that we can choose to become the sixth hybrid race. And I'm asking what is so beneficial for us to become this hybrid race, since we are mixing our DNA with a race that went through a negative path. Of course, they went through a big transformation, but what are we gaining from becoming this hybrid race, since we are receiving a lot of downloads and information from you, but in terms of the DNA exchange, what is the win situation for us? Thank you for your reply. Have a nice day.
You have a misunderstanding. You are not mixing DNA with a group that went through a negative path. You're mixing with the hybrids who have never experienced that path. The grays experience the negativity, but the hybrids have not. Therefore, you are mixing with a different form of humanity that has never experienced negativity. That is what helps you uplift. That is what raises your vibration, is taking advantage of the information and perspectives of a group of beings that are a different form of human that have only experienced the idea of positive vibrations that move you forward in your evolutionary path to becoming the sixth hybrid race, which is simply another way of saying that you are functioning fully, more fully as human beings, which most of you actually aren't yet fully human.
Hello, Bashar and everyone.
Good day, good day.
I had a dream that I'd like to get your insight on.
All right.
I was traveling to and moving into an abandoned southwestern home. I went to the kitchen and opened up a rectangular door about 3 foot long, and there was a diminutive alien skeleton in it that was glowing orange, had an orange metallic tunic, Native American beads, a feather headdress with red, white, blue, yellow, orange feathers that were mottled. It certainly wasn't of this world. I opened the oven and another skeleton was in flames, but I don't think it was being consumed. This felt like a very deeply sacred and spiritual experience that I felt honored to be a part of. And it's just kind of baffled me. It just impacted me so much. Do you have any thoughts or comments?
Yes. What you experience to some degree is a recognition and a perception of the interaction between some ancient extraterrestrial beings and the indigenous tribes of your Southwest in the past. Many indigenous tribes, many indigenous peoples on your planet have had contact with extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings for hundreds, if not thousands of years. The irony is that while many people on your planet are waiting for open contact, many indigenous peoples have had open contact for quite a long time. It's just that in their cultures, they don't necessarily share that readily with other cultures who don't know that's going on. And in the cultures that don't know it's going on, their belief systems often prevent them from accepting the fact that that's been happening in the indigenous cultures. So on one level, you're perceiving the fact that this has been going on for quite some time. You're picking up on some very ancient vibrations, ancient encounters, represented by the blending of those ET forms with ancient Atlantean and Aztecan kinds of regalia that they are wearing, which represents the idea of the blending and the interactions and connections between the two, and how many ancient indigenous peoples are actually the ancestors of some of those extraterrestrial beings. The idea of the being on fire in the oven is a representation of the kind of power and energy that they bring with them in coming from one dimension, one reality, to another. You are perceiving a connection between your physical reality and a different reality being expressed to you in those symbolic forms with connections to these ancient extraterrestrial consciousnesses. Does that help you?
Yes, wow, that's so powerful. Thank you.
Yes.
In December of 2010, I woke up and received a download, and it was elements of this incredible story, an iconic mythical figure of modern times that has a connection with Atlantis. And I could see this story being like a combination of the magic of Harry Potter with the intrigue of the Da Vinci Code and an epic tale of Lord of the Rings. I could see this story being shared to share spiritual concepts in an entertaining way. I've spent years researching Atlantis, the Tuatha De Danann, High Brazil, ancient civilizations, megalithic cultures, and I'm just stuck. I've not been able to write. I'm a good writer, but I write usually like marketing materials. Fiction and character development, I'm just having a hard time. But my research has led me to you. And I'm just wanting to know, maybe is my purpose to the journey to be here, or am I to write this? I'm stuck. I don't know what to do.
All right, you can write it, but are you familiar with the idea of story structure?
Well, no, not really.
All right. So it might be of assistance to you to investigate the concept of story structure, because in the telling of any tale, in the telling of any story, it is highly critical, highly important to make sure you are following story structure, because story structure is built into the psyche of humanity. And if you tell a story with the salient points, the salient, shall we say, beats of a story structure that are built into your psyche, then people will remember the story. It will feel authentic. If you miss any of those beats, it won't feel authentic. It won't resonate. This is why stories last for thousands of years, because if the pattern is followed of story structure, it resonates with that structure in all of your psyches. So we would suggest that you investigate the idea of story structure and follow that general outline, get used to the understanding of what kind of beats need to be in a story, how they need to be presented, when they need to be presented. Then you can loosen up the structure a little bit according to the way your intuition will drive the story forward. But following the structure in general is highly important to tell the story in the correct way. Since you don't have a framework for what story structure is, that may be where you're getting slowed down.
Yeah, it was some great elements, but I just don't know how to proceed. I have a main character, but I don't have anything else. So.
All right. Well, again, story structure can inform you as to what the main character needs to go through in order for it to seem relevant to your readers. You may avail yourself of many books that exist in your society about story structure, one of the most popular being the idea called The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one. So, yes.
Have you read it? Have you read it?
No, but I am familiar with Joseph Campbell. I've read several of his books. So.
All right. Well, you have not read The Hero's Journey then?
No.
All right. That is the one specifically that outlines the idea of story structure. You can also
I'll look into that.
You can also avail yourself of several that are connected to the idea of the film industry, because they also talk about the importance of story structure, even though it may be presented in filmic terms.
Yeah.
So
great. Thank you.
Familiarize yourself with that. And when you understand the story structure, it will inform your character and inform you as to what your character needs to experience.
Wonderful. So after this download, I made a commitment to it that I would follow wherever that took me. And a few months later, my longtime marriage ended. And just kind of to summarize briefly, I kind of went into a dark night of the soul. One morning I woke up and there was an energetic presence. Yes. And immediately Paul McCartney's song, Let It Be, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary will come to me. And I just got this overwhelming sense of unconditional love.
Yes.
And then a few minutes later, I had a vision of a woman in a scarlet dress who was a very strong, spirited woman, but also very loving. And these experiences just baffled me. A couple of days later, I was in a state of well-being and bliss immediately, but that lasted a couple of days. And so I knew this was real because my reality had been completely altered.
Yes. It's up to you to continue the vibration once you've been exposed to it. All you have to do is remember what that felt like when that vision came to you, and you're actually back in that frequency, even though it may feel different.
What is the origin of these? I just called it energetic presence, but
yes, but you called upon the idea of Mary as a reflection, but not the Mother Mary. You called upon the Magdalene.
Okay.
Hence the scarlet
Wonderful.
dress.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Thus,
final, oh, go ahead.
yes, thus the idea of standing within your self-empowerment, being the one to tell the stories, being the one to hold the information, the one to spread it among the people. This is what the Magdalene was responsible for, in taking the information that was provided by the individual known as Jesus and spreading it among the disciples. The Magdalene was the primary disciple responsible for spreading the information. So you are calling upon her fortitude to spread the information that you need to spread. She is encouraging you to move forward with that.
Well, final question.
Yes.
So I live in an area in Southern Illinois that's nicknamed Little Egypt.
Yes.
We have towns named Luxor, Thebes, Karnak, Cairo. Comically, also, I live in a town that had the motto, hub of the universe.
Yeah.
I live in a small town. I'm not Midwest, not hub of the earth or galaxy, hub of the universe.
Yes.
Is this just small town egocentric thinking, or is there something to this and the Little Egypt theme?
You know there is something to it, and that's why you're there. So it helps you with your connections, the connections you have made to aid and assist you in this life to move forward in your themes of exploration and your expression of your passion. So it gives you a kind of a center balance point from which you can expand yourself, from which you can express yourself. So it is usable and recognizable as the energy of a vortex that you can draw upon to center yourself, balance yourself, and come from your center to be the hub of your universe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bashar. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for our community here.
Our deep appreciation to you as well. Please move forward with your truth.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar. Quick question. At a session with you, you confirmed that I had hybrid children and that I was being taken by the Greys. I went to a hypnotist to try to have some memories of any of those instances. There was nothing that came up. I've watched shows where people had remembrances of being on a ship and having DNA taken and had scary experiences. Was I just not supposed to remember any experiences? Was all the memories erased, or what happens in those instances where you can't pull up any information? Thank you so much.
It may be that it is not appropriate for you to remember certain incidents. At the same time, it may simply be engineered to be time released within you, so that when you do begin to remember, it gives an indication of when you may be ready for more information, like a barometer of how close you are to being more conscious of the contacts that will occur in the future. So you can try to retrieve these messages and memories that you were given in those experiences. If they don't come, don't worry about it. If it is necessary for you to know, you will know when the timing is right. If it isn't necessary, you won't know it. But that doesn't really matter, and it won't stop you from experiencing the contact. Just keep moving forward in your life. Follow the formula. You will raise your frequency. And sometimes raising your frequency will give you the ability to remember things that have happened in the encounters you may have had. Good day.
Okay.
Good day.
My question, burning question is this. My mom and I were very close. I dream of her quite a bit. She passed in 2020. She went willingly and peacefully, meaning she had a stroke and didn't want to pursue fighting so much. She was 98.
Yes. She did not want to linger. Yes, we understand.
She was ready to go. Is she communicating with me? Because
yes.
I feel she is.
Yes. Many spirits will. And very often it will happen in the dream state because your physical mind is kind of out of the way. And therefore it's easier for them to reach you in the dream state. But also look towards synchronicities that remind you of her. Those can also be representative of a communication from spirit. You never lose anyone when they transition over. It may be even that they are even more capable of helping you from the other side. So pay attention to the signs and symbols, because many people receive communications from spirits more often than they think.
And my dad, I wasn't as close, but I do dream about him. If, for example, I had a relapse and I dreamt about him the very next night, meaning I had a problem where I
Yes.
could have been hospitalized, but
All right.
he came into my dream. Is
Again,
he doing the same thing?
The spirits are always there for you. Remember, it's easier for them to know what's going on with you than it is for you to know what's going on with them, because they have a much broader view now. They will always be there to assist and guide you in any circumstance in your life where you need their help.
And since I'm so happy that you're taking all these calls, but okay, so I am Black and my husband is white, but
Yes.
his mom and my mom got along really well. And I dreamt that they had met in the spirit world. Is that
Everyone that is physical starts in the spirit world, and you make these agreements, especially when it involves close family ties. You may be experiencing the physicalness of soul families. All of this happens by agreement in the spirit before it ever happens in physical reality. So anytime you experience a close relationship of any kind in physical reality, it is representative of a relationship that exists in spirit.
Thank you so much. I have one more. It's an off questions. I wouldn't have asked it, but I was asked to ask you to ask it.
Yes.
So here it is. Is there a Jersey devil?
There are many different kinds of beings that are interdimensional. Yes, it does exist, but it is something that can pass sometimes into your reality and out of your reality. There are many forms of elemental beings and dimensional portals through which different kinds of beings can temporarily pass into your reality, but more often than not, they will pass back into their own reality from time to time as well, and only pay a temporary visit into your reality. So yes, the being does exist, but it comes from a different reality altogether.
Okay, I'm busy. And I heard you say something to somebody else about using your passion and following your passion.
Yes.
Is that because that's what I try to do? So
yes. It's important because your higher mind, your non-physical higher mind, is attempting to guide you in your physical life. The idea is that it sends you messages and energy in the form that your body translates as the sensation of passion. So you know that it's telling you this is your next step. This is the next thing to do. This is who you really are. This is what you agreed to experience. So when you act on your passion, you're responding to the higher mind's message and saying, yes, I heard you, and I'm willing to take the actions necessary in physical reality to prove that I heard you and to be my true self. And then the higher mind can send you more opportunities to act on your passion. But you have to follow the whole formula, because it is acting on your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be. staying in a positive state no matter what happens so you can get a benefit from it, and examining your belief systems and letting go of the negative and fear-based ones. Those 5 steps are the entire formula that will allow you to align with your higher mind in the best possible way and allow you to be most representative of your true self and your true vibration while you're experiencing a physical life on Earth.
Thank you, because I do want I want to write a book. I'm in the midst of doing it. And there are a couple of other things that I want to achieve before I go. And
Yes.
I'm hoping to do that. I really am.
Right.
So you have encouraged me.
All right. We always give you unconditional love and unconditional encouragement to follow your passion, act it out, because the actions you take are the language of physical reality. Because you are physical, experiencing a physical reality, action is the language of physical reality. So doing the things that are representative of your passion is what makes the difference in your world and allows others to receive the benefit of those actions, of those gifts that you have to give.
Yes, I have 7 grandchildren that I hope to have benefit from whatever I do and whatever I've left behind.
All right.
So
well,
thank you so much, Bashar.
You can stop hoping and just do it. Someone will benefit.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how lovely this is.
We are very grateful and appreciative of your interaction with us. Good day. Aveo.
Good day.